Hi, this is Ms. Brown from Research Triangle High School. The purpose of this presentation is to tell you a little bit about what to expect from English 4, which is a British literature focused course. So first of all, I really want to encourage you to go back and read the actual course outline. There's a lot of details in there that will help you kind of understand things a little bit more clearly, but I just wanted to kind of highlight in a video format some of the things that you can expect. Remember that you are still responsible for all policies and that everything will also be posted in Moodle, so you'll have a copy of that course outline if you need to refer to it at some different point during the school year. So English 4 is a British literature focused course, and the overarching theme that we use to look at all of the pieces that we're going to study is this idea of heroes and monstrous. That is, what is it that's heroic and monstrous about each one of us? In some of the cases, we will be dealing with actual heroes and actual monsters, dragons and beasts and things, but in other times we're going to be looking at the way we treat each other and the way that even the common ordinary man can rise to heroic deeds and heroic stature. Again, we'll be focused on British literature, and I teach this mostly chronologically, so we kind of start with the earliest pieces and then work our way up. And I do this because the British literature is really self-referential, so Canterbury Tales refers to the things that happened in King Arthur and the Arthurian legends, which refers to some of the things that happened in Beowulf, so it all kind of feeds in on itself. So sometimes it's easier to understand this material if we start it in order and kind of work our way up through, rather than the thematic approaches that we've used for other English classes. So some of the major units that we'll probably look at this year, we're going to start with just a little bit of the history of the English language, how did we get to be, to speaking this particular form of English. We're going to look at Beowulf and the Anglo-Saxons, we're going to look at the medieval period, we'll look at Renaissance lit with Shakespeare, we're going to read Hamlet and maybe a couple other Shakespearean plays, the Age of Reason, the Romantics, particularly the big 5 Romantic poets. We'll study Rime of the Ancient Mariners, kind of a longer, more epic poem. We'll look at some of the Gothics, that's kind of the dark side of the Romantics, Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, really the origin of science fiction. And then we'll look at some of the Victorians, some full lengths as well as some shorter works, and get into some contemporary pieces, magical realism, and some of the 20th century dystopias, books like 1984, and look at this picture that they painted of the world. So this class will be project-based, and I'll do a lot of the content and kind of lecture-y things through these kinds of videos. And in class, you're going to be spending time on application and practice and working in small collaborative groups. And we will do several full projects with teams and presentations and the kind of thing that you're probably familiar with from many years here now at Research Triangle High School. You are going to have a senior project in English class, and don't let this stress you out at all. We're going to work at it in bit throughout the year, and it's aligned with the common prompts for the college essay topics. So most of you are going to be looking at college applications and having to write an essay anyway, so we're going to kind of incorporate that in. And we're really kind of looking back to your 9th grade when we started the year with the This I Believe essay series. And your culminating project will be a combination of that kind of writing and a TED Talk style presentation. And again, just relax. We'll be doing most of this in class, and you'll have a lot of chance to work on this as we go through the whole course. So grades in this class, and again, refer to your course outline for more details, but basically all of the major assessments, the big things that we do, the unit tests, an essay, a project, a presentation, counts to combine for 50% of your grade. The classwork, that's the things that we do in class that we study together, group activities or individual activities are 30%, and then your homework and your quizzes combined are for 20% of your grade. And if I've done my math right, it comes up to your 100%, which is where your grade will come from when it comes time for the ends of the quarters. You really don't need a lot of specific materials for this class. Make sure you have your laptop and charger. We will be using them most days. You're going to want some kind of a folder or a binder to put the materials and things that I give to you in. It doesn't matter to me what kind you use. Bring some blue or black pens with you. We do some writing in class. You'll probably want to keep your earbuds with you in case there's an opportunity to look at videos during class time. And most importantly, keep an open mind. You may be sitting here saying, oh, British literature, I don't like Shakespeare and things, but you may find that if you kind of come into these materials and try them out, that you may discover that you really do find a lot of value in them as well. Now, a couple things not to bring into class. Please do not bring in food, particularly food that is noisy or messy. If you're sitting there passing around a big bag of Doritos during class, no one's listening to anything anyone else is saying. They're just looking and listening to the crackle, crackle, crackle of the Doritos. So save that kind of thing. Please do not wear perfume, cologne, or lotion in the class, and above all, do not spray anything while you're in the class or try to put it on. We do have several students with chemical sensitivities and allergies, and it's just kind of a thing that you should do on your own in private. Try to leave any distractions with you outside or any drama. I know that you all carry around a lot of things throughout the whole day and you have issues and stuff, but try to think of every time you walk through this door as kind of a fresh start. Focus on the work that's here and let it be kind of your place apart from the other things that are happening outside of this particular classroom as much as you can. Now, most of you I've been working with now since you were the wee baby freshman coming into the building, but you know some of the pet peeves. These are the things that are going to kind of set me on edge and not make it as great a class for everyone. Please don't start packing up early. I hate it when kids are watching the clock and as soon as the first person zips things up and slams their laptop shut, everyone else is now looking at the clock and no one's listening. And sometimes those last few minutes of class are when I'm going over a particularly important part of the assignment or reminding about homework, so don't do that. I promise I will stop class and give you time to get ready to go to the next class. Try to avoid back talk. I know that I'm going to get it wrong sometimes and I'm going to say, stop talking over there, and you're going to be like, I wasn't talking, he was talking, why are you calling me out? Remember, my purpose in that moment is to just keep everyone focused back on in class, so please come and tell me afterwards if I've gotten something wrong, but in that moment, try not to be quite so defensive and turn it into a case where now you're yelling at me and now I have to ask you to leave and now we're in demerits and it just gets ugly fast. So do your best to just, listen. If I'm trying to get you to do something else, think about it, think about why, do it if you can, and move on from there. For the most part, don't email me your work unless I tell you to do something electronically, and we will do some things electronically. In general, if I give you something on paper, I want to get it back on paper, and there's a whole bunch of reasons for that, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that I get upwards of 50 emails a day, and if you're emailing me your assignment in the middle of it, particularly if I'm not expecting it to be emailed, I don't have a folder set up for it, and then that's when I don't know that you've sent it or it gets lost, and I've got to go back and search through, and it just gets to be a mess. So kind of be clear about that. The same is true as with unclear emails. Sometimes you'll send me an email from your phone and it's not even signed. It's like, I don't know who this number is. It's like, what we do for class, I don't know what you're asking. So try to have every email be polite and respectful and be really clear about what it is that you're asking, and I'll be able to help you better and faster that way. You should know this by now. A lot is never spelled as one word. Don't make that mistake. And then don't try to come in through the outdoor. Particularly in the fall, we're going to be really crowded in this classroom, and we're trying to keep it so the traffic flows really well. So in room 104, if you're leaving the room, you can leave through any door, but when you're coming in, come around through the front of the door. And this way we don't get this traffic jam over by that little outside corner. Okay, so absences and late work. At some point this year, unfortunately, you're probably going to catch that cold that your friend gave you, or you're going to end up visiting a college or have some other reason that you're out of school. As much as you can, and I know sometimes if you're home on your sick bed, you don't even want to look at your computer, but if you're in a place where you can do that, use Moodle and send me an email and kind of see how much you can stay on top of things as much as you can. I do ask that work is made up within 1 week of absences. That's actually even more generous than what the school gives you, which is like 1 day for every day you're out. But I find that when kids are absent, sometimes it takes a while to make an appointment to come in and make up a quiz or something. So usually a week is fine, but please don't let it go any longer than that week. Now, I do not accept late work for credit. It's due on time or it's not accepted for a grade. That doesn't mean you can't turn in something that I won't look at your work and give you feedback and things on it, but if you want to get credit for it, it's got to be on deadline. I do this for a whole variety of reasons that I won't go into in this little video, but on time or it's not accepted. Now, you do get one get out of jail free card. That is once per quarter, you can have something that's 1 day late, and you can't use this for presentations or for tests because that affects too many other people. But if you've got some assignment, you just had a really busy night, or you've got a game that you're playing in and your friend had some drama or something, you just didn't get that particular piece done, you can take any 1 day and turn that in, no problem, no loss of credit, no penalty at all, 1 time per quarter. But the rest of the time, stay on top of your work. Now, if it ever gets to a point that something really is happening, again, send me an email, talk to me, we can see if it makes sense to make an exception in that particular time. But for the most part, get it in on time or it doesn't count. And I know you're all sitting here in the fall on the first day of school, and we have so much ahead of us this year, the move into the new building, getting you guys through your senior year, the college acceptance letters are going to start rolling in the spring, and before you know it, you're going to be wearing that funny hat and walking across the stage to get a piece of paper. So let's do this 2015, 2016, first graduating class. Let's have a fabulous year in English. I'm so delighted to be teaching all of you.